Okay, we are recording, which means we're here semi live. It's live to me because I'm not going to stop. I'm going to perform all the way through, but it'll be a slight delay. I'll post it on YouTube later tonight and Facebook. And I'm glad to have you in any event. I'll tell you a story tonight. I'll play you some songs. I'll play you two new originals. I'll play you some blues. I'll play you some electric guitar, some acoustic guitar, and some keyboard. And this week we saw the passing of one of the really great singers and a great songwriter, Jesse Colin Young, from a great band, the Youngbloods, who many of you know from their iconic hit record, Get Together, which is "Come on, people, now smile on your brother, everybody get." I'll tell you the story of them walking off the Tonight Show after I play this, but that's not something that you hear people doing. But the Youngbloods did it, and of course they were banned forever by Johnny Carson, who was indignant at their leaving. But they had a lot of great songs. My friend Alan LaBeouf has told me, and he's seen a million acts, and he's played a million gigs, and he's been at the Grand Ole Opry and played with people, watched them from the sidelines, from the wings. And he said the greatest gig he's ever seen was the Youngbloods at Carnegie Hall. And he said they were just so versatile and so entertaining. They switched instruments, and anyway, great song by the Youngbloods, and it goes like this. I don't even have the key. Hang on a second. Ooh, yeah. Ooh. Ooh. It's a lovely Okay, this is a good way to start. But no, I'm not going to stop the tape and start over again. I'm brave, and I don't mind you guys seeing me in all my imperfections. It's a lovely day. Look at all the sunshine. It's a lovely day. Have a drink of moonshine. Look at all our friends soaking up the good times. But today ain't half as lovely as it would be here with you. No, today ain't half as lovely as it would be here with you. Ooh, yeah. It's a lovely day, friends to be together. It's a lovely time, talk about the weather, have a drink of wine, yeah, feel like a feather. But today ain't half as lovely as it would be here with you. No, today ain't half as lovely as it would be here with you. Ever since the first day I met you, honey, I know you, and I could learn to love. Please don't let hesitation get you. Come on, darling, our love needs a shove. It's a lovely day, smiles on all our faces. It's a lovely day, friendship leaves its traces. Have a happy time, yeah, found an oasis. After the day ain't half as lovely as it would be here with you. But today ain't half as lovely as it would be here with you. Ooh, oh, yeah. Ooh. Lovely now, lovely now, lovely, yeah. A Lovely Day by It's a Lovely Day by the Youngbloods. And let me tell you the story that I alluded to. And the story is that Get Together. Come on, people, now smile on your brother. That song was on an album and languished for 2 years until some DJ plucked it out. Likely an FM DJ who didn't have to adhere to a playlist, and started playing it, and it went viral in the, which they never said in those days. But the Tonight Show asked them on to sing it, and they said, well, sure, but to us it's really old news. It's an old single, and so we want to do one of our new songs too. And so the Tonight Show agreed to that. And Jesse Colin Young said it was like, you know, a gentleman's agreement. It wasn't in writing, but he said that the fact is they got there, and then when they were about to go on, the Tonight Show people said, well, we don't have time for the other song, so you really just have to do Get Together. And the Youngbloods said, well, then you broke your agreement and we don't want to do it. So they walked off, and Jesse Colin Young said his poor mother was waiting to see them that night, and she had to endure the humiliation of Johnny Carson saying to the audience, well, the Youngbloods decided to leave, and we had to wipe their noses and send them home, you know, alluding to their childish behavior. But Jesse Colin Young said, I would basically do the same thing again today if somebody did that to us. So good for them. Now, I got that going. So I got that going for me. That's Bill Murray's classic thing. I've got some new songs here, and I think I'll play you the brand new song. I wrote it today, so that's how hot off the presses it is. And it's a blues. And I'm going to play it with a rhythm machine. It's a little too fast. Oh, and I just made it faster because I hit the... What the hell? Pardon me. Pardon my French, as we like to say. Okay. Did I say it was called Win, Lose, or Draw? And it goes like this. Looking out my window, thinking back on good times and bad. Looking out my window, thinking back on good times and bad, yeah. Win, lose, or draw, yeah. I gave it everything I had. I could have been a king. I could have been a beggar on the street. I could have been a king, yeah. I could have been a beggar on the street. Win, lose, or draw, yeah. I didn't lie and I didn't cheat, no. Now I'm gonna play win, lose, or draw. My story's far from over, and I still give it everything I've got. Yeah, my story's far from over, and I still give it everything I've got, yeah. Win, lose, or draw, I'm still gonna take my best shot, yeah. Okay. Whatever. It happens the way it happens. But Lord help me. I swear, you're not supposed to miss the last note. That's kind of an important note. But it is what it is. There's the cliche of our times. I have been working on a song for weeks now on the keyboard. And I will debut it tonight, like that song, there was a debut. Okay, so hang on a second. This is all stretched out across the room here. Not a good way of operating. That's all right. You guys are inclined to stay with me, I hope, because you want to hear this keyboard song, I think. Okay. It's not even going to work. Okay, so I have to unplug it, plug it back in. My natural inclination at this point would be to be swearing. I know, I'll swear in Old English. I love this Yamaha. It's got mini keys. Now, let me try to remember this. Oh, you can even see the keyboard, and I'll help you to see it even better. I'll move this drum machine. I don't need it. I think we got it together here. This is called And the Rain Still Falls, so making its debut tonight on the Here and Gone show. We're on our 200th plus show. Friends, I started this during COVID, and I would never want to give it up at this point. It's one of my favorite parts of the week to play for you. And then I post it on YouTube, so I want to say hi to my YouTube subscribers and friends. And if you haven't subscribed, the subscribe button will be right down below there. It goes like this. The sun peeks out from behind the gray, and the rain still falls. The blues still rule the game every day, and the rain still falls. I can run for cover and hide my head. I can pray that my feet will land where the angels tread, but I stumble and fall down to my knees instead, and the rain still falls, yeah. The love you share is a gentle rain, and the rain still falls. It warms my heart and eases my pain, and the rain still falls, yeah. In my darkest hour, when my mind is on fire, and I'm a million miles from reaching higher, your love comes down, and it sounds like a choir, yeah. And I look up, and the rain still falls, yeah. Okay, little Yamaha keyboard. There you go. I have another new blues that I've been slowly kind of breaking it in, and you guys have been the first listeners and the first responders to this blues, and I've gotten some good feedback. One of my best listeners and oldest friends, Steve Philp, thought I kind of intersected between universal and personal, is what he said. There was a songwriter that I once opened for, and I was backstage with him. He was a published songwriter, a guy who had a lot of songs recorded in Nashville. Damn, I can't remember his name. I'll think of it in a minute. And I had recently been told by the famous A&R person in New York, Mary Martin, that my songs were too personal. And this guy's name is Bob Franke. Bob Franke, for those of you who might have heard of him and might be interested in that, I opened for him and we sat backstage, and he said that's just a way that gatekeepers have of trying to keep you out, to say it. He said the more it comes closer to here, the more it goes out there. He used his hands to gesture, and yeah, that's what you're shooting for, and especially in a blues. I'm going to do this blues in a minute, but first I promised a story or two, and this is one of my favorite stories that I was ever around for in the music business, and it just says everything. It tells you what you need to know about what the screenwriter William Goldman, who wrote the Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and what do they call that other movie? The one where they scam people and they reunited Paul Newman and Robert Redford. And it was that great Ragtime by Scott Joplin that was the soundtrack. Oh, come on. Well, you guys are out there screaming at me right now. The answer is so completely obvious. The Sting, okay? I had a band called the Stingers, and I can't even remember the name of the movie The Sting. Anyway, William Goldman has a famous, legendary book on screenwriting, and it's called Adventures in the Screen Trade. And in the intro to his book, within the first few lines of the book, he writes, the one thing you need to know about Hollywood more than anything else is that nobody knows anything. Well, we could probably find some examples of things where all the well-laid plans work, but my opinion is I doubt it. A lot of you know the stories behind The Wizard of Oz. They're just countless of how the Wizard of Oz should have turned out completely differently if God hadn't intervened. The original star of The Wizard of Oz was supposed to be Shirley Temple. Remember now, Shirley Temple was a teenager at the time, not the little Shirley Temple that you might remember dancing with Mr. Bojangles, but Shirley Temple was supposed to star in it, and then the death of Jean Harlow scotched that deal because they were going to trade Jean Harlow to the studio in exchange for Shirley Temple going to MGM. So that stopped that deal. You all know, or many of you do, that Buddy Ebsen was the original Tin Woodsman, and he developed an allergy to the aluminum paint and almost died. And he was choking and gasping for air, and they sent him to the emergency room, and he spent the weekend in the hospital, and then he ended up coming back Monday to, like a good soldier, be back on set, and he was told that he was fired. So that's the way they did things in those days when there was no protection, no unions. You just did what the studio told you, and he was crushed and thought, that's the end of my career. And of course, he went on to have many brilliant successes. But yes, he was a song and dance man originally, Buddy Ebsen. But all the other things that happened, that were accidents. Victor Fleming, the director of The Wizard of Oz, had a nervous breakdown or something, and he left when there were still 2 weeks to go on the picture, and somebody else came over and took over for him. I told my friend Rob Hunt that this is a $200 budget guitar that was made in China, of course, and it's called a Firefly, and it's based on, some of you know by its looks, that it's based on Prince's Hohner Mad Cat, and his Hohner cost like $325 or something, and he used it through his entire career. I think even at the Super Bowl gig. In any event, if you could see this up close, you wouldn't believe that it's a $200 guitar. I certainly can't. And I'm running it through some pedals. I'm running it through a pedal that was the pedal that was used by Prince's guitar player for Purple Rain, and it's called a Centaur, and they go for $8,000 now. Yeah, you heard that right. That's not a joke. It's like one of those. One of those illustrations of the madness of our times, that on eBay I sold one for $12,000 and I got this for $40. Again, this is a Chinese knockoff of the original pedal that what's her name, Wendy Melvoin, used on Purple Rain. So this is part of the sound that I'm getting for you guitar heads out there. But here's my favorite story that overlaps in the sense of this God Incidents style universe we're in. I was recording my first album for London Records when in West Orange, New Jersey, had a great state-of-the-art studio called the House of Music. And they did work on Paradise by the Dashboard Light, the great Meatloaf album. George Benson was recording there. Tons of people, and there were hit records coming out. They recorded Grease there. I met Frankie Valli that day. Well, speaking of meeting people, Kool and the Gang were recording there, and they told us that much to their complete delight and good luck, good fortune, Stevie Wonder had agreed to produce their new record. And so they were floating on air. And I went home that night and told my parents, since I was still living at home in Watchung, New Jersey, over dinner, I think I said, hey, I'm going to meet Stevie Wonder. And, everybody was thrilled. And I said, I wonder what you do. Do you stick your hand out and hope that he knows it's out there? I mean, this is a ridiculously stupid concern. But so week after week, it was going by over about a month's period. And when's Stevie coming? So, oh, Stevie's coming Monday. So, okay. Stevie's coming Monday. And Monday would roll around, no Stevie. So, no, Stevie's coming Friday now. So we were all anticipating it. And, nobody was walking on eggshells. People in recording studios don't act that way, you know what I mean? And Friday came around, no Stevie. Well, the next Monday came after that, and Kool and the Gang came in, and they looked like they had 1,000-pound weight on their shoulders, each of them. And we were, what's wrong? Stevie canceled. And now we're way past due our deadline. The record company's breathing down our necks, and we don't know what to do. And oh, gee, well, there was a guy recording at the studio around that time whose name was Eumir Deodato, and a very nice guy. He used to wear a blue sweatshirt every day and stand at the coffee machine all day long, just hanging out. And I confess to you, and this is a shameful embarrassment, but I thought that he was the custodian for the studio. I literally did. I thought he was the janitor. And no, he was this great Brazilian arranger and composer. He had a big hit with the theme to 2001. And the great guitar player who I'm still friends with, John Tropez, played on that record. And Deodato had arranged some Sinatra tracks, et cetera, et cetera. Well, they turned to him. He's the only guy available who has time on his hands. Eumir, can you produce us? And I'm thinking to myself, a Brazilian composer producing an R&B funk act? Boy, that really does seem to be a long shot, doesn't it? So can you see what the punchline is that's coming here, friends? What did he produce? Celebrate good times. Come on. The biggest record of the entire decade, practically, of the 70s. The biggest single, I mean. And additionally, just to show you how this couldn't have happened if Stevie Wonder had produced them, he co-wrote that song. So they wouldn't even have had the song if it wasn't for the fact that Stevie Wonder canceled on them, which seemed at the time to be their darkest hour. This is a new song, and every week I'm tweaking a little bit. When you lose a loved one and all you can do is cry, when your heart is broken and it's so hard to say goodbye, yeah. You have to keep going, even though it's hard. You've got to try. There are people who need you, who would miss you so hard if you were gone. You might not believe it, but there's people who might fall apart if you were gone. So when you lose a loved one, you've gotta find a way to carry on. There's a time and a season, and nothing's new under the sun. There's a time for mourning when the sun has set and the day is done. And it's hard, it's so hard, yeah. When you lose a loved one. Okay, kind of brings out the emotion, a minor key blues, a sad minor key blues. Of course, it was a minor key blues that was the breakthrough song for the great B.B. King, who I think might actually be the king of the blues. He might be the greatest blues man who ever lived. George Harrison said that Bob Dylan, he said, "I'd hate to live in a world without Bob Dylan." And his direction there was that he was thinking, the Beatles would still be singing Moon, June, and Croon. And my take on things is that I would hate to live in a world without B.B. King. I really would, because we'd be pretty much relegated to the Guitar Olympics. Faster, louder, more technical. I'm not trying to be mean, but I watch, YouTube Shorts. I don't really watch TikTok, but YouTube Shorts just has guitar player after guitar player after guitar player. Even kids, 9-year-old kids from Japan, playing rings around anything you've ever heard of technically, where you're just there with your open mouth. And I last about 3 seconds with all of them. They're just so completely empty of content to me. And it's just like an Olympic event. And it's meant to amaze and delight, but it doesn't do either for me. And then B.B. King plays The Thrill Is Gone, and all's right with the world after that. You know what I might do here? I might just completely change direction and play a song that I'm going to record. I've tried recording it several times, even at big studios. Oh, by the way, I have to show you this. I got this incredible birthday present from my friend Steve Philp. This is his brother Rick, way back when, playing in Boston. Let me get the glare off of it. That's Rick Philp on guitar with the dark glasses on. Of course, that's Van Morrison. And this picture was in the recent Van Morrison biography that came out. And, it's a long story. I won't get into it today, but that's one of the very rare pictures of Rick Philp. And so it's a treasure. Okay, I got to tune this thing up. It's my new uke. And courtesy of my friend Marty. Again, this was a birthday thing I made out on my birthday. I just saw my son, Eli, for lunch yesterday. He's at the University of Dayton, on his way back there right now after spring break. And years ago, I wrote this song about him and for him. And I've tried to record it, and it has not gelled yet, but I think I know how to do it. I think I know how to fix it. And so this is going to come along as a record, Lord willing, in the next couple of months. And it just tickles me. It's a blast. I love it. I hope you do too. And I'm going to close out tonight's Here and Gone show with this song, which is called Mousetrap the Rock. Got to move the microphone that way. Oops, I got to turn it down a little bit. A little boy Eli discovered a game. I don't know how to play it. I just know the name. It's called Mousetrap the Rock. 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 He said that you play it by shining a light, and you're on your back in your bed at night. It's called Mousetrap the Rock. 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 You don't even have the rules. You don't even need to keep score. If you're ever wondering what's going on, you just got to play some more. So this is my story, so strange but so true, how a game was invented. It could happen to you. It's called Mousetrap the Rock. 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 Okay, there it is. Mousetrap the Rock. Thank you for joining me. God bless you. I'll be back. Please hit the like and subscribe button. And also, I'm putting a link up that I call my virtual tip jar. And that is just a link to PayPal, but you can leave any amount there is appreciated just to keep the show on the air. And thank you to many of you who have contributed. I really appreciate it, and it encourages me to keep doing this because it does take preparation and dedication to keep fresh content coming every week. So thanks in advance for that. God bless you, and hope to see you soon.